Thanks so much. Thank you. Cheers. 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 Happy birthday, Baker Street. That's not very good, is it? Say yes, happy birthday. Oh, I'm glad somebody back there. Right, I'm going to talk about my favourite subject, which is HMOs. And I might talk a bit fast. I'd like to thank Ranjan for inviting me to come along. I better stand out the way so people can see this. I don't want to be standing in front of the screen so you can't see what's going on. I'm going to talk about commercial to residential. It's something I did about 10 years ago, and then the government decided that what I did was very good and they'd introduce it. So that's been introduced for the last few years. But not many people have realised about it, except in the southeast. You're very different down here. I'm outside the southeast. As Ranjan says, I'm in a place called Wednesbury, which is north of Birmingham, south of Wolverhampton. It's west of Walsall and east of Dudley. So it's in the middle of really nowhere. And I do quite well by operating there. Some of you may not have heard of me, but apparently you all have. No one admitted to not doing so. I've been doing HMOs for years. I can't think of doing anything else. I enjoy it. There's nothing better I can see. There's no easier way of making money, and I love to talk about it. I like to write about it. I've written loads of books on the subject. In fact, you're being asked about your questions on HMOs. Well, I've already written a book called 101 Questions on HMOs. Manoj over there, he's just drifting off to sleep. Yeah, as beautifully modelled by Manoj. There's 101 questions. I've also written the sequel, more 101 questions, and I've nearly finished the sequel to that, which is even more 101 questions. I'm up to my fourth one, so there's plenty of questions out there that people want to ask. So a lot of interest in the subject, and I've written about it because I just love it. I like talking about it. I'm sure if you cut me like Blackpool Rock, you'll find it just runs through me. But I want to share with you some awesome opportunities that I discovered about 10 years ago, but the government have slowly decided to follow it. And that is to be able to do prior notification. The government realises the reason the shortage of accommodation is because of the planning system. So instead of doing the right thing, just lining up all the planners and shooting them, they don't. They just bring in this sort of wishy-washy changes called prior notification, which says that you can turn certain types of buildings, providing it fits into the strict criteria, which of course the planners police. So why don't you just say, turn all properties into residential if you want to, and you'll end the housing crisis. Won't be very good for me, but it'll be good for my heart, because there'll be no more homelessness, and you bring down the price of housing. Maybe not such a good idea. So perhaps the planners are not such a bad thing in the first place. But here's an opportunity to take, what do I say, grotty properties and make good use of them. So how